Well, this car, it's a 1947 Chevy. It's called a Fleetline Aero Sedan. The Aero Sedan is the style that has the fast back, or the sloping back, if you will. And they made them for, I don't know, probably 10 years. But my grandfather bought this in Delta, Colorado, back in 47. And he passed away in 1957. And my dad and I, like I said earlier, I lived in Othello. And we drove back and picked it up and brought it back to Othello. And we just used it as a second car, my dad did. And we'd go out on the canal banks and hunt jackrabbits and pheasants and ducks, stuff like that, you know. And then when I was able to get it, I was gonna, that was about, I don't know, around 19, I don't know, trying to think now, probably 70 or something like that. I was able to get it. My dad gave it to me, and it was in pretty rough condition. It wasn't tore up, but it was just been used as a second car. So I wanted to redo the whole thing exactly like it was. But then I got to thinking, well, you know, it's got a little six-cylinder in it. I'd like to have something I could drive on the freeway or go across country or something. Not that you couldn't in a six-cylinder. It's just a little tougher. So I put a late model V8 engine in it, and we've got a different front end that's out of a Camaro, so it steers better. And I've got an automatic transmission in it. So it's a modern car, if you will, with the old style body. And they call it I think the term for it is a resto rod, meaning looks all stock. I was able to buy all the interior pieces, and I had all the chrome redone, all the inside, the door panels, door jambs, all that was redone in the wood grain that they used. So it's a brand new car, but it looks like the original as it came out of the factory, with the exception of the running gear. And it's been a great car too. In fact, my wife loves to drive it. You get out in Idaho, Montana, where you can start cruising, and it just kind of settles right down and takes off, you know. I kind of got into my love of pickups. Just something a little bit different. At the time, a lot of guys weren't into pickups, you know, and I just something different, if you will. I bought that in a car meet called Good Guys down in Southern California here about 15, 18 years ago. And the guy had tried to hot rod it, and, you know, but I liked the style, because here again, you don't see many of them. And so I brought it back home, and I was able to take it all apart and put it back together original. And by then I had joined a club. It's called the Early Ford V8 Club. And that club is primarily cars from the flathead era. Flathead is a type of engine that Ford made. And they made them from 1932 to 1953. And the club I joined that's what they were into, the flathead era of Fords, if you will. And so I had a lot of help putting my 40 Ford back to original shape, paint color and wheels and everything. So it's all original. And we've driven it all over the United States. Been back far as east as Indiana. Been down to Utah, Colorado, California, and throughout the western United States. And it's a stock engine, stock car, and it's just been a fun little rig to drive. Once I got into high school, I kind of got the car bug, and then once I turned 16, got my own car. My dad bought it for me, as long as I paid the insurance, gas, you know, tires and all that kind of stuff. And that's kind of got me into the car thing, if you will. And I just love cars. And I wasn't a real astute mechanic, if you will, but I could take things apart and put them back together. And I always had plenty of help, friends that knew a lot more than I did on mechanics and painting and, you know, stuff like that. So most of my friends throughout the years have all been car related in some way or another, and that's pretty much how I got into cars. And oh, say 1960, so it'll be 60 years probably. Around 1960s when I got my first car, and pretty much ever since then.
That's longer than most marriages.
Well, I've been fortunate in that area too, I thought I would say. Well, I never, when I was a young kid with my dad, we would do a little bit of hunting, mostly birds, and did a little bit of fishing. But after I left home, I really never got involved in any of that type of, I wasn't really a hunter. I didn't like to, the older I got, the less I liked to kill things. And fishing, I kind of got out of that. So cars is what I had, Well, as far as something teaching you something about life, I think what it's taught me is that, first of all, I enjoy it, so I take care of things. And the hobby that I'm into, like a lot of other hobbies that people get into, it's the camaraderie of people that are in the same hobby you are. And so you're respectful of their cars, they're respectful of your cars. You do things together. It's just one of the things I've learned since I've retired. I've been retired. I retired at 70, and I'm 78 now. Is that the older you get, to be able to enjoy your hobby and your life in particular, and your wife and family. You do all you can do to take care of your body or whatever, so you can keep enjoying your life and your friends and your family. I've had a couple little missteps in my life, and earlier on it was all about, when we were young, was a partying and stuff like that. That's what just went along with things, and I'm fortunate that I've been able to get through that stage. We did a few things that I would never try again. But the older you get, hopefully, the more responsible you get, and the more you want to take care of yourself, so you can enjoy your friends and your quality of life. And I think it's just about same old story, treating people like you want to be treated. So I've been very fortunate.